Miss Jovial. Oh, Miss Jovial girl. Oh, Miss Jovial, Miss Jovial. Oh, Miss Jovial girl.
Hey, Click Crew, this is your girl, Miss Jovial. How's it going? I know we're dealing with a lot of stuff right now in the world, but I ain't gonna worry about it because I have faith. Ha 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 ha. Okay. I'm here to tell you a little bit about 3 things that you are going to miss if you decide to move to New York if you're from Chicago. I'm going to tell you right now, New York is a new world. It's a world that you can't be prepared for. I can tell you that right now. Not unless you were born and raised there. So if you outside of New York and you plan on moving to New York, there's 3 things that you're going to miss, especially if you come from Chicago. Now, if your city has the same thing that we have, then that's cool in the fan. But I'm going to tell you, when I got there, when I moved to New York, I was looking around like, okay, where's this? Where's that? Where's this? Where's that? It's like, we don't have that. I'm like, what? You don't have what? Say what? I got to go to the store. What? I got to do what? To do what? I'm telling you, it's just something that you have to get used to. Okay. So the first thing I want to talk about are alleys. I know it sounds really crazy because alleys are so nasty. They dirty, but you miss them because even in Chicago, we keep our trash cans, in the alley next to the garage, right? When you have a house, that's where you keep your garbage. Not in New York. You put your garbage in the can if you live in a brownstone. But if you're walking downtown Manhattan, you have to put your garbage in front of the street, like on the streetway, the walkway. It's kind of gross, right? And sometimes, depending on where you are, you got Mickey and Minnie coming. And I told y'all, I don't like that Mickey and Minnie stuff. I know everybody asking me, how did you stay in New York for so long and you never really dealt with Mickey and Minnie? Hey. I ain't got to deal with Mickey and Minnie just because I'm in New York. I was so scared. I wore my landlords out. They were like, oh my God, for the last time, please don't keep asking us about these Mickey and Minnie because you ain't going to get them. And I never got them. Because I would have died. It wouldn't have gone good. I'm telling y'all, it wouldn't go good. You got to get used to the garbage cans. That's the thing. Because even in front of the brownstones that I lived in, the garbage cans are in the front. And I just thought that was so, it doesn't look good for the building. Like when people walking by and you see your garbage cans and stuff, it's kind of gross. But landlords do the best that they can to keep it clean. So they sweep around the garbage can and they have those little, boxes for Mickey and Minnie, when they come in at night because they do rummage through the garbage can at night. I mean, they trying to survive just like the rest of us, right? I don't know who made rats. I just wish they just go away. Oh my God. Number 2, I'm going to tell you something. If you from Chicago, you are going to miss the parking lots. I'm telling you right now. I didn't know how much I missed parking lots until I got to Jersey. Because I ended up moving to Jersey and commuting to New York City. I'm like, there are no parking lots. And I used to just see cars just keep circling and circling streets and circling and circling and circling and circling. And they never, a lot of times people double park. And that's not cool. As a driver, that's not cool. You don't do stuff like that because you back up traffic on that street when you do that. And then some people just have the nerve, especially in Brooklyn. They got the nerve to double park, put their blinkers on, go in the store and go shop and then come on back. Because you don't have a place to park. You can't park anywhere. And if you do park, you got to park all the way down the street, like way down the street. So it's like, it makes no sense, right? My little girl, she here, Roxy Poo is right here next to her mommy. She's always next to me. I love you. Okay. I got to get used to the parking, child. Because I remember when I first moved to Jersey and, I saw the parking lot. I was so excited. I couldn't believe it. I was just sitting there like, oh my God. Which brings me to number 3. And this is going to be a short video because I just want to sit and talk to y'all. The car. If you are a driver, I promise you gonna miss your car. I think that should be number 1, 2, and 3. Cause you know when you in Chicago, when you turn 16, you take driver's ed, right? And you get your permit. And then when you turn, I think 17 or 18, you get your driver's license, right? I don't know what they do in New York because don't nobody drive, and I'm just like, what the hell? Nobody driving here, especially in Manhattan. Now I have friends who had cars in Brooklyn and the Bronx. I have friends that had cars, and they did what we did in Chicago. They just got the permit, and then they turned around and got their driver's license, which is cool. But for people who are like now, like 40 and 50 years old, and they can't drive, that's so strange to me. And I'm like, oh my God, are you serious? Let me tell y'all, when I moved to Jersey, child, I saw that big truck come and drop off my white Eclipse. I was so happy I didn't know what to do. Soon as I got the car after the truck left, I just sat in it. I was just so excited to be back in a vehicle because it's really difficult to go grocery shopping when you in New York. I'm gonna tell you that right now. You see my little girl in the back. I mean, you have to first of all, you gotta get a shopping cart. Unless you're gonna get an Uber or a Lyft to take you to the store or whatever. Most people usually take public transportation to the store, and then they get a ride coming back. And that's what that's what most of us used to do. But here's the thing: if you want to go to specific stores, you gotta walk out the door, walk down the street 2 blocks, go down the subway, get on the train, ride, get off your stop, walk up X amount of steps to the street level, go get your groceries, put them in the cart. They heavy as hell. Come back down the stairs, get on the train, get off your stop, go back up the stairs, and then you got to trail that thing all the way down to your apartment. It's a lot. And I'm not knocking anybody that does it, because once again, if you were born and raised that way, it's not a problem. It is not a problem. But if you were not raised that way, you got a problem. This is something you just gonna have to get used to. I'm telling y'all right now. And you know what? And I ain't put it on my top 3, but you know what? Those walk-ups are murder. When you have an apartment and you gotta walk up the stairs, oh my God. I'm telling you, when you go grocery shopping, when you go to the laundromat, you gotta walk up and down the stairs with all your groceries, with all your clothes. It takes a lot of getting used to if you were not raised in New York City. I'm gonna tell y'all that right now. I don't really care for high rises, living in high rises, because most of my stay in New York, I lived in brownstones. And the first one, I lived on the top floor, but that was only 2 floors. I think, you know what it was? When you walk into the brownstone, it's just one big step. It's one big flight of stairs, and then you right in my apartment. And then the second brownstone that I stayed in, I was on the first floor. You go up maybe 4 steps outside, and then you just walk into you just open the door, and then you walk into my apartment. That was no problem. But if you on the second floor, sometime that second floor, that second floor can be crazy. I ain't sick now. Let's not go there. Come on now. I ain't sick. But that second floor will drive you crazy. I'm telling you. And can you imagine if you had kids? Oh man, like a baby and a stroller, and then the groceries and the laundry. Oh, child, listen, I just ain't used to it. I'm really not used to that. So I mean, I dealt with it because that's where I wanted to be in New York. But you know, I was raised, and I'm not saying that I had a lot of money. I ain't had a lot of money growing up. I'm gonna tell you that right now. But in Chicago, when we wanted to go to the store, what do we do? What we do when we go to Chicago? When y'all from Chicago, you get in the car, you go to Jewel's, you go to Jewel's, you go to Food for Less, you go to Walmart, Sam's Club, Costco, wherever you go. You get in the car, you go in the parking lot, you go get your food, you come back, get in the car, and then you come home, right? That's easy. That's what we're used to. But I'm telling y'all right now, if you plan on going to New York, you can forget that. And if you do decide to bring your car, beware. Because if you live in Manhattan like I was here, because I lived in Harlem. First I lived in Harlem. Well, no, let me see, wait, I lived in Washington Heights. Then I lived in Harlem. Then I lived in Brooklyn, and I came back to Harlem. I think that's how it worked. But if you live in Manhattan, I'm telling you right now, you're going to have to move your car from this street to that side of the street to this side of the street, depending on what type of day it is. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you got to move on the opposite side of the street. Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, you got to move it again. Listen, that is way too much drama, because you got other people on that street that have cars like you do, and sometimes you're going to have to circle and circle and circle until you find a spot. I'm telling y'all right now, because what they want you to move so they could, clean the streets. But I'm telling y'all right now, that is murder. Please understand that, okay? And it's just too much. And the parking tickets, too much. And let me tell y'all about the garage. Child, listen. If you got a car in Manhattan and you want a garage, you paying an arm and 5 legs. I'm telling y'all right now. I think one of my friends, I can't tell you exactly where he lives, but it's on the east. It's in East Harlem. I think he told me that, I want to say that garage was like $500 to $800 a month or something like that. I was like, what? He was like, oh, if you bring your car here, we could put. You sound cray. I ain't never did that, and I ain't about to start doing that. That's part of the reason why I moved to Jersey, because when I had my car in Jersey, I'm telling y'all right now, I just went right to the parking lot and came home. See, Jersey reminds you of Chicago, because they got alleys. It's small, but they got alleys. And they have parking lots. So that when you go to ShopRite, Wegmans, you go to the different supermarkets, you can just drive into the parking lot, get out the car and do what you need to do. You don't have to wait on the bus. You don't have to wait on the subway. You don't have to do all that stuff. You just go and do it. So I'm telling y'all, you're going to have to sacrifice when you come to New York. I'm going to tell you that right now, because if you're not used to that kind of living, there's no point in you going. You just need to just stay where you are, because it is an adjustment. I'm telling y'all right now, nothing is a cakewalk. I'm telling you. So, I mean, I don't know how else to put it. Oh, and like I said, get ready for the prices. So some of the prices that you pay in Chicago, you ain't gonna pay that in New York, because New York is gonna be more expensive. I remember when I went, because I've been on my own for a long time, and when I go buy sugar, when I used to buy sugar, I used to buy the 5-pound bag. You know how we have in Chicago and probably any other place, the 5-pound bag of sugar be like what, $2.79, so something like that, like the 5-pound bag. They don't have that in New York. I ain't never seen it in New York. Maybe they got it at Western Beef. I don't know. They can have it at Metz. They can have it at C-Town. Pathmark. Well, Pathmark is not there anymore, but I ain't never seen a 5-pound bag of sugar. They could have it. I haven't seen it. They have them little small bags. You know what? Because it's all about space in New York. They don't have a lot of space because it's so many people and everybody is living on top of each other. That's why it's so expensive to live there. A lot of people move and they get roommates so they can cut the cost. Now, if you're not used to living with people, then yeah, you're going to have a problem. I don't like living with people. When I first got there, I stayed with my friend Anna. Remember I told y'all about that? She was really nice to do that. But I knew I couldn't stay there forever because she had her own personal space and the apartment was really small, just like mine was small. I showed y'all how my apartment looked, the first one. So, I mean, you just got to get used to it. It's a whole new life. I'm telling y'all. So, you just gonna have to sacrifice a little bit, and then when you get used to that style of living, then maybe you can bring your car to New York. I mean, you'd be crazy too. I wouldn't do it, but you might. You and I, totally two different people. I didn't bring my car until I moved to New Jersey. I moved across the water, and then when my car came, I could drive all over the place. But what's so funny? I have to say this real quick, that when you get to Jersey, it's like you don't even want to come back to work in New York. Because it reminds you so much of Chicago. It's like, I'm back to normal now. You know what I mean? But the one thing I liked about living in New Jersey, I have to say this, and I know my whole channel is about Chicago to New York, but it's part of the New Jersey is part of the tri-state area, which is, you know, Connecticut, Jersey, and New York. We all commute into the city. The thing is, in New Jersey, I mean, let's just be clear. You can go to New York and you can go back home. You live in Connecticut, you can go back home at the end of the day. And that's what I like about that. It's the same as, you know, you in New Jersey, you can go to Delaware, you can go to Philadelphia, Virginia, Washington, D.C. You can go all those places and still come back home at the end of the day. That's what I like. That's what I like. That's why I love New York so much. I mean, I loved it when I lived in the city, to be honest with you. Because I think my favorite apartment was when I lived in Harlem, because I was so close to my job. I would get on the bus. I would get on the subway on 125th Street and get right off at 59th Street. That's the first stop downtown. You know what I'm saying? Because I would get on the A or the D, because those are express trains, and get off at 59th Street and walk down to my job. I'm there. That's a wrap, right? One stop. You can't get no better than that, especially in New York. And then what's even better is that when I left my job, I can go to the doctor because it was right on my way back home. It was on 59th Street. I got off at 59th Street. Remember I told y'all that? My doctor is on 59th Street. No, wait. No, 59th Street. Yeah. My doctor is right there. As soon as I come out the doctor's office, I just cross the street, go down to the subway, get on the A or the D, take it uptown to Harlem, get off on 125th Street, boom, I walk home. Can't get no better than that. Now, well, the next video I want to talk about is 3 things that you miss in New York when you go back to Chicago. Because, you know, like I said, give and take, give and take, give and take, give and take. So that's just how it is. I'm just telling y'all. But I'm going to keep you updated on New York and Chicago, because those are 2 good cities, 2 great cities to live in. But for me, it's just New York housed my ambitions and Chicago didn't. So, I mean, and that's not to say Chicago is a bad city, because it's not a bad city. But, you know, it was something about New York. I did things in New York that I just didn't do in Chicago. Just like I did stuff in Chicago that I couldn't do in New York, right? And that's get my driver's license. I got my driver's license in New York. Chicago, and I was driving around in Chicago. When I got to New York, I had to take subway, but I was in New York, the city of lights and brights, right? So just be prepared for that. In all seriousness, your ass better be prepared, because it is a monster. But I'm not going to say that you can't make it, because I made it and I stayed there more than 10 years. And I'm telling y'all right now, it is the bomb. I really enjoy it. It's expensive now since I left the premises, but it's one of my favorite cities. I'm not going to even tell y'all the truth. I'm going to tell y'all the truth. I said I'm not going to tell y'all the truth. No, I'm going to tell you the truth. It is my favorite city. And I hope that you all have as much fun as I did. Because I met some really great people there. I went to the best parties. Kicked it. Because I love the shadow. Is it all over my face? Hell yeah. You got me love dancing. Ow! I'm a house head. I'm a house head. Shout out to Brooklyn. I'm a house head. They were jamming in the shadow. Y'all gotta go to the shadow. Oh, it was off the Shazane. They even had a reggae room. Ooh, I gotta tell y'all about the reggae room later. Honey, y'all been to the Wild Hare in Chicago, right? Go to the shadow when you get to New York. Whoa, it's gonna be quite interesting. Okay guys, make sure you like, subscribe, and share my video. Leave me a comment. Let me know what's going on in your life. I'm gonna keep you abreast of what's going on. I'm just gonna keep telling you all, you can do it, you can do it. Head to the Big Apple. And I hope you all have a great night tonight, okay? Later, Gators. Peace.
Oh, Miss Jovial. Oh, Miss Jovial girl.